President Biden meeting with Governor Ron DeSantis during his visit to hurricane-ravaged Florida. And while he was there surveying the devastation, he took the opportunity to blame climate change and push the Democrats' green agenda.
There's a lot going on. And I think the one thing this has finally ended is a discussion about whether or not there's climate change and we should do something about it.
The president also had this very interesting hot mic moment. Everybody's talking about it today when he was talking to the mayor of Fort Myers Beach. Listen.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for coming down. We appreciate it. I'll keep the food.
Just makes you uncomfortable.
Joe Concha, author of the new book. Come on, man. The truth about Joe Biden's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad presidency joins us now. Joe, I endeavor to read that a different way every day until they give the read to Carly. But getting down to serious business here for a moment. Care to provide the president a list of all the people effing with the Biden? I can name two just yesterday, North Korea and OPEC.
Ah.
Very good point. Yeah, nothing says trying to sound like some sort of combination between Clint Eastwood and Samuel L. Jackson, like being braggadocious in the middle of a disaster zone. By the way, nobody F's with the Biden. I believe the Taliban did when they invaded or when they took over Afghanistan again and took Kabul in about the time it takes to deliver a pizza. Saudi Arabia also did, obviously, with raising gas prices here in this country by cutting back their production. China does on a daily basis F's with Biden. And then, as you said, North Korea launching missiles over Japan. They appear to be doing that as well. So I also get a kick out of, by the way, the fact that he says, well, this storm was about climate change and we should do something about it. As if we spent trillions upon trillions of dollars fighting climate change here, that would stop a hurricane that formed thousands of miles away from hitting this country with the devastation that it did. It's just, again, never let a crisis go to waste, I believe one politician once said. I think it was Rahm Emanuel. And now we're seeing it in real time where this hurricane, where so many people are hurting, is being exploited for all the wrong reasons, guys.
Yeah, so a few days ago he said he was Puerto Rican politically.
Who amongst us is it?
Who, yeah, exactly. And now he's saying no one bleeps with a Biden, which is interesting.
I literally am.
Yeah, you're only Puerto Rican politically. Got it. But he made that comment also when his son is under federal investigation. So I don't know if you're reading too much into it there, but it maybe not the best time to be saying no one messes with my family.
Great point. Great point. And look, when the GOP takes back the House in November, and that's looking more and more like it's going to happen, first order of business will be launching investigations into Hunter Biden, into that laptop. Tony Bobulinski with Tucker again this week, talking about him getting a call from the president's brother in the middle of an FBI interview. There's so many questions here that so many in media simply are not pursuing at this point. So I guess it's up to either this network and a few other outlets in Congress in the Republican version to try to draw this out, because the president of the United States could be compromised by China and Ukraine at this point, and we deserve answers as voters.
Yeah. Carly took the serious investigatory question. I'll take fashion. The media ignoring First Lady Jill Biden's heels during a visit to the Florida hurricane site after blasting Melania Trump for literally doing the same thing. Let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? New York Times claiming Melania finds herself on thin heels. Vogue called out the hurricane stilettos and the White House's continual failure to understand optics. And the Washington Post accusing the former First Lady of offering up a fashion moment instead of an expression of empathy. But let's cue up the picture of one Jill Biden doing the exact same thing. Your reaction when Jill Biden does it, and crickets.
I don't know what's that. I don't know.
Are those flats?
Yeah. But that's okay. She was wearing
them. She was wearing them. Trust
She was wearing wedges, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, look, I have a Google machine, and I looked before we did this segment and tried to see, okay, can I find the Washington Post or Vogue or the New York Times criticizing the current First Lady in terms of her footwear, and of course you can't find it. And look, Melania Trump was treated as poorly by the media than any First Lady in history. That's by a country mile, by the way. Remember every year her Christmas decorations of the White House? They were ruthlessly mocked by the Washington Post, other major media outlets. She's a legal immigrant to this country, yet the late night host Jimmy Kimmel, you know, the Pope of late night, mocked her accent after she was reading to children at an Easter event. I mean, Melania speaks, what, 5 languages, or 4 more than Kimmel? So he has that going for him. So it's no surprise Dr. Jill Biden gets a pass here, because the double standard, that's the rule, not the exception, guys.
It certainly is. It's very interesting, the difference in media coverage for the first.
I'd like to
two first
apologize
ladies.
for failing on the fashion front. I don't know heels from flats, so I should have just kept my mouth shut.
No, she was wearing heels. Yes.
Nor should you.
I've offended women,
It's okay.
the nation,
More important
our
things
wardrobe
than
department.
shoes. Yes.
Joe, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.